What is up, everybody, guys? Welcome to the first episode, right? This is your boy Shades World. I'm here with Tommy.
We're here. It's been a long time coming.
We are here with Tommy Garino, guys. Your boy Tommy, Shades World. And this is the first episode of the Mass Appeal podcast. Welcome, guys. We are here in the Hedge Better Studios right here in Braintree, Massachusetts. Beautiful Braintree, Mass, right? With our boy Jay Fine over there on the mic.
What's going on, boys? Happy to have you.
Here we are, guys. You got the video behind us, right? Hedge Better.
Logo is still in the works.
Tentative logo being done right now, but we're going to figure that all out. I can't wait to do this logo, by the way.
We want to put in the hours that are necessary to have an eye-popping logo, which is why we don't want to dive into it too fast.
Got to catch some eyeballs. Got to get the people looking
For
here.
sure. I think this is going to be a fun podcast.
Yeah.
This is actually my first ever co-hosted podcast. So I'm excited to get it going.
And this has been a source of media you've been wanting to get going on for a while, right?
100%. I mean, I've dabbled in the TikToks, the Instagrams, the Snapchats, you know, back in the day, the Vines, and now, you know, podcasting is the next level for me.
It's the future. You know what I mean?
It's going to be fun.
It is. This is going to be dope. I'm very excited for this. This has been a long time coming, guys, for all you people listening. And also, you guys that have followed both of us on social media for the last year and a half, 2 years now.
Yeah.
You're seeing us you're hearing us and seeing us in a new form of media now. And we're just very excited about this, guys. So just to let you guys know, this is going to be a New England-based sports show, national-based sports show, mixed in with some pop culture stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and give you guys a little bit of everything. Feed the local seeds, feed the national seed, feed the pop culture flower right there. You know what I mean?
I think we're going to get into, the X's and O's, but it's also going to be a heavy entertainment podcast. You know, we're not going to bore people with just sports stats, but we're also going to give them a mix of, you know, pop culture, trending news, stuff like that. So
100%. Yeah, we're going to keep you guys in the mix on just about everything that we find worth talking about, right? And like I said, guys, presented by Hedge Better Studios here. We are down here, like I said, Braintree, Mass, here at HQ. And the first thing that we are going to get into today, Jay Fine, is what?
We're going to be talking a little Bruins. We got some trade needs, status of some current players and trade talks. So, what are you boys thinking?
Hey, you know, growing up in Boston, both of us huge diehard Bruins fans. I can talk Bruins all day.
Yeah.
I can talk Bruins all day. And if you haven't checked out the YouTube, Man on the Street interviews, a little promo here, a little self-promo.
Yeah, I got to toss it. Plug the tube here.
The Man on the Street interviews I was doing with fans, some good content there too. But in terms of the team, I think there's positives and negatives.
I think if we're going to start with the positives, because there are more negatives, unfortunately, not to sound like a clown, but if we're starting with positives, I'll say this. Marchand has been our best player all year. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think despite all of his bullshit, which drives me up a fucking wall, right? I've always said this. Marchand is a Bruins player that takes Canadians penalties. He does the same shit that we hated Canadians players for doing back in the day. That little rat bullshit that I hate. And I hate.
It's crazy because, you know, over the last few years, you see, like I always say, I'm like, this guy, you know, he's matured, you know, he's not taking as many of those penalties. It's like I'm talking about a fucking toddler. This guy's 30 years old.
This guy is 30. It's a great point. The guy's 32 years old. It's insane.
But you can't deny his talent and his offensive output. The guy is a fucking beast. It just sucks that he does do some stupid shit like that. But I think, you know, all around, Marshy is the top piece.
Side allegory that I saw, and shout out to Felger and Maz, by the way, the other day. Is Marchand on track for the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Yeah. So here's how I look at this.
Yes.
I think Marchand is on track for the Hall of Fame with 2 or 3 more seasons like the one he's having right now. I think the cup thing is irrelevant because he's already got a cup. So that's whatever. Granted, he won it as a rookie, but whatever. You still won it.
Jay, fine. Can we get his age up here? Just
grab Marchand's age.
Just
get the little thing. I think he's a year older.
He's gonna be. Is he?
I think he's like 31, 32. Swear to God.
He's 33.
Wow.
33.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
33 years
Marchand's
old.
33. Dude, that means he's
33.
what, 4 years younger than Bergeron?
Turning 34 in like 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So how many more years potentially does he have of putting out a season? Like
I think 3. I think he's got about 2 or 3 years left, only because you got to think about it. He really hasn't been hurt that much.
No.
I never remember him missing an extended. The most amount of time he's missed is because suspensions.
Yep.
Yeah, legit. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I think that Marchand needs 2 more years of what he's done his whole career He's never had really a bad year. I mean, because he's consistently a 65, 70 point player.
He's a beast, dude.
He's also, I think he's like
didn't he put out 100 points like recently?
Yeah, and isn't he the active leader in shootout goals? I mean, not shootout. I'm sorry, shorthanded goals rather. Excuse me.
Probably. I mean, that guy, he's putting up. He's breaking milestones. He has a cup under his belt already.
Yeah, you got the cup.
If they somehow pull off another one, I think that kind of solidifies it even more.
And who's like a mirror career wise to him that you could say is kind of like on the same trajectory path? This is kind of a difficult one. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of a guy maybe his age. Somebody like,
how old's John Tavares?
That's a
Is
good.
he older?
Tavares is a year older than me. I think he's 31 because he got drafted in 09 and I was a junior in high school. So I think he is a year older than me.
I think Marchand is more ahead of Tavares. Only because of his being with the Bruins and his offensive output, but also because he has a cup.
He's got the cup.
He also has a cup that's always an upper hand.
Yep.
And Tavares is having a shit season with the Leafs.
100%.
Sure. Even the last season, I don't think he's gone to the potential the Leafs thought that he was.
You want to talk about a guy that they didn't need?
Tavares.
They didn't need that. They did not need him. I don't know what the whole. Granted, he's from Toronto. I get it. It's a big get. The Leafs were kind of just coming out of this rebuild. I mean, they wanted that veteran center. So I guess it kind of makes sense. Does he make like 11 sheets a year?
Something crazy like
10
that.
sheets a year, something like that?
If you look at their roster on paper, it's stacked.
It is
fucking stacked.
And their D is horrible.
It's always been the same song and story with the
same exact
song and
thing.
Dance with them.
They got Morgan Riley and like that's pretty and Muzzin. Those are the two defensemen I would take off the Leafs right now. Sandin's okay too.
Yeah.
But if you're the Leafs, I mean, you're going with the problem with the Leafs is the grit issue.
We can deep dive into the fucking Leafs.
Yeah, I mean, the grit, but at the same time, so another guy I was thinking of is like Johnny Gaudreau.
Right. Okay.
I would take Marchand over Johnny Gaudreau 80 times out of 100.
100%,
you know, I'm 80 times out of 80, whatever, right?
I like that comparison. They're kind of the same build. You know, they play the same style of the game.
Not even. I think Marchand's way tougher and more physical than Gaudreau is, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, offensively.
Yeah, for sure. You know, smaller, high skill guys. You know, goal scorers, right?
Yeah.
What's the other thing? All right, so trade needs. We'll go to this first. Did you have another positive you wanted to add really quick to the Bruins besides Marchand? I guess.
I think to close it off, I think the Bruins are getting hot right now, and they're getting hot towards the right time. They were on a 5-game win streak up until last night.
Sure.
Zegras scored with 20 seconds left last night. Also, shout out Trevor Zegras. Absolute beauty.
Yuck. My God. Jesus
Christ. He scored with
Christ.
20 seconds last night, and obviously, you know, they lost it at the end. But I think, you know, the whole Tuukka situation kind of shook the team up this year a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They had some guys not stepping up. You know, you got guys like Jake DeBrusk that are stepping up now. Marchand's back. The only thing that scares me about the Bruins and a cup run and being a potential cup contender is goaltending. How long is this goaltending going to last them? Is it going to last them for a deep playoff
I think that any Stanley Cup contender besides the Leafs, the Lightning, this applies to everybody besides the Lightning. It is never the best goalie in the league that a team rides to the cup, unless you're the Lightning. It's the hottest.
I agree.
It's the guy who gets hot. Matt Murray, the Leafs, the Leafs. I keep gotta stop saying the Penguins. Sorry, won that cup with Matt Murray that year. He sucks.
Look at him now.
He's on the Sens. He's terrible. He's a bum. Absolutely not.
Talk about a dumpster fire.
Absolute
of an organization.
100%.
I found a tweet from like a few years ago. It was like the Sens GM, and he was like, "I believe this team's gonna win a Stanley Cup in the next 4 years." And I quoted it, and I was like, "That's hilarious."
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
hysterical.
3 years ago,
Literally
it
hysterical.
still weighs perfectly.
I gotta say though, I do love their young players. Ottawa.
Brady Tkachuk, shout out.
Oh my God, I love Brady Tkachuk.
But he's got Easty ties.
The 100%. Yup, 1000%. Tom Shabbat, stud. Stutzla.
Stutzel.
Is it Stutzel? How do you? Is it Stutzel?
Stutzel.
Let's look up the pronunciation.
Stetzel? Is it Tim Stetzel? I don't know.
To be honest, I need to know how to spell it before I could even type it into Google.
All right, so start with this. Tim Stutzle.
All right, it's got one of those double dots over the U. I don't know what that
here we
means.
go. Yeah, that you don't know what that. You're getting into dangerous territory there, bro.
I say Stutz.
I think it's saying Stutzel.
So yeah, Tim Stutzel. That makes sense.
I also don't know if I'm interpreting the pronunciation correctly. I think
Does it have the phonetic one?
Yeah.
The little like segmented one?
Yeah, it's got OO. It's got an OO where the U would be. So like
Stützle.
yeah.
It is Tim Stützle. So we were both kind of wrong, I guess.
I've never been a good.
Pronunciation guy. Never been a big enunciator.
I don't know what the double dog.
I will say by the way, the other good thing, I know it's like not the sexy pick, positive for the Bruins, the last one really quick, is Derek Forbort was a good signing.
Yeah,
He's actually pretty good. For $3 million a year, he's like doing exactly what he did in LA.
his role.
Blocks a shit ton of shots. He's physical. I like Derek Forbort. So there's the positives.
So, all right, are we going to get into negatives? Or do you want to get into trade talks?
I say we'll go into the trade talks.
Okay.
That highlights the negative. I want you to drop this hot take on
yeah.
us
So
really quick,
before we started recording, I told him I had a juicy take for a trade.
Okay.
I have the Bruins player that I want to be traded.
Okay.
I don't technically have what I want to get back, but I think that Jake DeBrusk is getting hot at the right time. He has 14 goals, 10 assists, 24 points. He might hit over 20 goals this year with how much of the season left? 2 months left.
Yep.
I think at the deadline, you look at a guy like DeBrusk because his value shot through the roof recently because he just got a hat trick too. And you try to get a piece, maybe trade him in a pick for something big because I think the Bruins are still like 1 or 2 pieces away from really being a cup contender. You got, Florida, Toronto, and Tampa in front of them in the standings right now. Those are all elite teams that I put at the top as contenders. I still think the Bruins are missing something. And I think trading DeBrusk and a pick could be something that gets you there.
So I think DeBrusk is the first guy that gets traded. I like that he's getting hot.
Let's not forget he requested a trade like 2 or 3 months ago.
100%. And which is great. Trade DeBrusk right now with a pick. I like the package.
Yeah. Who do you get?
You get somebody. You have to go for somebody like JT Miller in Vancouver.
Someone good, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're
You
gonna
need
trade a
somebody
pick
like JT
too-
Miller in Vancouver, right? I don't want any part of Phil Kessel here because I keep hearing like rumors of him and
Phil the Thrill.
Arizona. I do want Chikrin, the defenseman in Arizona that's available.
Didn't you mention something about Claude Giroux?
Claude Giroux. That's another guy they need to go. Well, he's the perfect second line center.
He's also fits the team. He's
Fits
gritty,
the team, gritty.
grinder.
Yep, veteran. I mean, you know what? Like it fits perfectly. Even though he's going to end up going somewhere like the Bruins will miss out on this kid. He's going to go to like the Rangers or I forget somewhere else that he was rumored to go to.
Don't the fucking Bruins miss out every trade deadline?
Yeah, 100%. The best trade deadline they've had in recent memory was 2019 when they snagged Coyle and Marcus Johansson.
Was that 2019?
That was.
How about Taylor Hall? Didn't they get Taylor Hall? To trade
That was
deadline?
last year.
So I mean, he was
I thought.
pretty big pickup too.
No, yeah, Halsey was a big pickup, yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying because
Yeah,
they made
no,
it to the
for sure,
Cup
for
Finals.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? I got to say another trade piece, whether people want to admit it or not. Matt Grzelcyk.
True.
I would trade Matt Grzelcyk. I would, even though I really like Matt Grzelcyk, and I hate to say this too, Connor Clifton's probably a good trade piece too.
Grizzy, Boston guy, Charlestown born. But
He's never going to come on the pod now because I said to trade him. Shit.
Yeah,
you
you
know what I
just
mean?
absolutely sued us.
100% just sued us with
Absolutely
Grizzy.
sued the boys. But
1000%.
Grizzy, yeah, I think he could be a good trade piece. I think how much more upside does he really have with the team?
I think people thought he was going to be Torrey Krug, and he's still a step.
Right.
Kind of a little bit of a step behind, even though it was weird because I wouldn't have paid Torrey Krug that much money.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. You got Bergeron on one leg right now. He's making me nervous. It's just like those are my big 3 trade pieces.
This is what I wanted to ask. If they trade someone like DeBrusk, a younger guy who has upside, a little more upside for a piece right now, and say they don't win it all, what happens to the team if they start trading these younger guys to make that run, but they end up losing the core guys like Bergeron's?
I think while you have these guys here, you have to try and compete. You have to try and compete. You can't go through a rebuilding year with Marchand with 2-3 good years left.
Turning 34.
Maybe turning 34.
How old's Bergeron? 39?
37, I want to say. Patrice Bergeron's 37, going to be 38. The other thing is, dude, what do the Islanders want for Chara at this point? A bag of pucks? What are you really going to get for him? He's got, no cap hit. He's making, $1.5 million a year. Bring him back.
Get
Why not?
like that back.
Yeah, I mean, bring him back. Why not? You know what I'm saying?
Depth.
Just for some depth, some size, some grit, some leadership, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I would like Chara to come back. I'm trying to think of other guys. Vancouver's got Brock Besser up for sale, I think, too. I'd rather JT Miller. I think he's way better. JT Miller's one of the most underrated players in the league.
JT Miller is very good. So
Plays center, plays wing, top 6 forward, legit. I think he's gritty. He fights. I love JT. The problem is there's no big. They still need a big defenseman.
What do you think the main asset they need to acquire at the trade deadline is? Are you going to winger or D?
I would rather a big nasty defenseman.
Yeah.
I would rather a big fuck you up nasty defenseman. Personally, I would.
Yeah.
Think about it. All the big teams have him. Tampa Bay's got Hedman. Who else has been a
Toronto
recent?
has Morgan Riley. He's a big boy.
Yeah, right. They have nobody else, but at least they have that one guy.
Yeah.
I'm out on Brandon Carlo, by the way, at this point.
Really?
I'm out on Brandon Carlo.
He's gonna be like, how old is he?
I think he's
25?
yeah, but it doesn't even matter. He's like a big. The kid's 6'5", like 220 pounds, and throws like a hit a game.
Right.
He's not that great of a fighter. I'm sorry. I don't want that here in Boston. I just don't.
Not to hop on the Bruins too much, but I also was a little upset I had a lot of expectations for Nick Foligno this year. And
So did I.
Feel like he has a role now, but I thought he was going to be more of like a second line guy that was going to get some points.
I think that Foligno might be getting too old for the role they need him in. I think it's a young man's role. I don't think Foligno's 34. I don't think he wants to keep dropping the gloves with 24-year-old guys. Granted, he's still tough. Don't get me wrong. He's fine. But I get it that like he kind of just probably wants to be a role player at this point. You know what I'm saying?
I thought
like
he
I get
fit
that.
the Bruins style of play really good, and he still does. But
Still
I
does.
think people just expected a little more offensive output out of
Yep.
him. But again, you gotta you adjust
Yeah.
and adapt. And
Would you trade Fabian Lascelles? Last thought here. Apparently, this kid is nasty. He's playing in the W for Vancouver, the Giants.
Really?
He's lighting it up.
You have to update me on him because
He's got like 63 points in 50 games or something like that. The kid's like absolutely dangling it.
Depends what they want for it. Like if you can get, is he going to make an impact this year though? You know, if you
Lysell?
want, I feel like if
No.
they want to trade someone like DeBrusque and like a pick, they want to make a run. You know?
100%. Yeah, I
And-
mean they have the only other defenseman I can think of that would be available is like Giordano in Seattle.
I think the last, like to close it off, I think the one thing that's going to be a game changer for the Bruins is if their goalies stay hot for playoffs.
1000%.
That's the main thing.
You got to have the Sway Dog get hot and that
Dog get
collar.
hot and find a rotation that works. If it's just keeping Allmark in there, keep him in, whoever's hot at the time. That's the thing. You can't tell until playoffs come.
100%.
Tuukka was our guy for so long after
Right.
Thomas that we always knew, Tuukka's playing.
1000%.
But now it's like we're kind of going into uncharted territory here.
We are.
We don't know who's gonna be the guy. So it'll be interesting the next couple
It's a
months.
matter of who gets hot.
Exactly.
Like you just said.
But-
That's pretty much it. What are we going into next, Jay? Fine. Hit me again.
Pretty popular topic right now. We got the Pats. It's the off season right now. Obviously, pretty interesting season. We got the draft, free agency coming up. So, what do you guys think with that?
As far as draft needs go, right off the bat, obviously I think everybody knows we need a wide receiver, somebody dynamic. It can't just be an over-the-middle route runner. They need a threat. They need a legitimate threat because Mac Jones right now is not a threat. That's his problem.
I would love to see them get like one of those big receivers, like a Mike Evans or something.
100%.
But then you look at N'Keal Harry, who was kind of the same type of comparison, and he kind of flopped.
He was the same comparison, but he's not even a 20th of the player.
No, 100%.
Mike Evans is a
100%.
freak athlete with great hands. He's a good route runner.
Yeah.
He's 50-50 balls are not 50-50 balls to Mike Evans. It's like a 70-30 Mike Evans.
Yeah, like comparison-wise, I mean like size. Like he was like
Sure.
a comparison. But like
Yeah.
skill-wise, no way.
Well, a lot of people compared N'Keal Harry to like Anquan Bolden.
Right,
He's
right.
not even close.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think you're right with drafting a wide receiver. I agree. I think Mac Jones, you can't really give him the rookie excuse anymore. Obviously, he's not a rookie. He has to improve, and I think he's gonna improve. But at the same time, he's not prime Tom Brady that can work with anyone. You got to give him some weapons. He's a young kid. How old is he? 24.
I think he just turned. He's about to turn 24.
You got to give
yeah.
this kid some weapons, and I think definitely an offensive weapon, a wide receiver, someone in the red zone that's dangerous. That he's not just relying on
Hunter Henry for 5-yard out routes, and it's like, what are we doing
these
here?
mid-tier wide receivers we have who did step up, but
No, but how much can you possibly ask for from Kendrick Bourne?
right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
It's like this guy's been a decent pro receiver. Don't get me wrong, but like.
We need someone bigger. We
yeah.
need someone that we can go to, like an Edelman, every time. But even then, that's a slot receiver, And
Here's the problem. Who on the Patriots offense are you like game planning for right now? No one.
Mac
No one.
Jones.
Mac Jones, I guess. In which case, just don't let him throw the ball
Right.
5 yards in front of him and make him throw the ball down the field. That's
Right.
fine. Stack the box and see what happens. You
So-
have no burner over the top or anything like that, right?
Right. So that's the draft. In terms of off-season outlook and what I think they should do, I think they should prioritize franchise tag and J.C. Jackson. I think he's a beast. He for the second straight season, he was second in the league for interceptions. He recorded 8 this season after he had 9 in 2020. Yep. So I believe the defense was a staple for them, and they have to try to keep that up. And then you've got McCourty, who's 35 now, who's a free agent.
Yep.
Didn't him and his brother not play in 2020 because of like COVID reasons?
Yeah, they
so
opted
he's
out.
kind of a wild card too. He's still a great player for his age, but that might be time to turn the page on that one.
Now, here's the problem with J.C. Jackson, how a lot of people, again, we got stat nerds coming in. A lot of his picks were like gimmies.
Right.
Like balls that came right to him against bad teams.
Right.
Which, whatever, you still have to make the play, and you still have to be in the right position to make a play. Like, I get that. I think you have to pay him in the short term because we all know what the Patriots secondary has looked like when it's like going through that weird transit. I think of the Razai Dowlings, the Jonathan Wilheights, those just that bad era where the Pats secondary, Ellis Hobbs, all these guys that were just like kind of like bums for a while. You know what I mean? The Cyrus Jones, remember the kid they drafted out of Alabama in the second round, not even in the league anymore, ended up returning kicks.
Well, what if they made a draft choice in that aspect, like a secondary?
Totally
draft
fine.
choice?
I like it. I like
you
it.
See McCourty's on the way out. You get the shit with J.C. Jackson. They don't really know what's.
But I
gonna
do
happen
think
yet.
you need a receiver more
100%
than you need a cornerback.
What
you know
pick
what
do
I'm
they
saying?
have this year?
I want to say it's like the 21st, 22nd.
I believe
they made the playoffs.
I want to say 21st.
Yeah, so it should be early 20s.
So it's still. I mean, you can get a first round, any first round pick.
100%.
Great guy.
You can.
Fucking Lamar Jackson was drafted 30th overall.
30th, yeah, right,
Crazy.
exactly. And then you have
who do we draft in front of Lamar Jackson? Was that year?
I forget. Was it Isaiah Wynn?
Possibly. No, I feel like that was before.
You sure?
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I think they have to. Personally, I think J.C. Jackson should come back on like a 1-year franchise tag.
Yeah, franchise
If they
tag him for this year.
Tag, is that just a 1-year deal?
It is,
Okay.
and he'd make $17 million, which would make him like technically the 5th highest paid corner in the league behind. Behind. Hold on a second. It is Jalen Ramsey gets $20 million a year. Tre'Davious White gets like 18. I'm trying to think of who else. Marshawn Lattimore's up there in New Orleans, and I'm trying. There's 2 other guys that I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Might be Jair Alexander and one
Either
other
way,
guy.
He's going to be a very high paid.
It's the top 5 go Jalen Ramsey, Marlon Humphrey,
right?
Marshawn Lattimore, Tre'Davious White, and then big play Darius Slay.
Yep. Darius Slay?
Yeah.
Still?
Oh yeah.
He's 40.
Took a big one for the Eagles. Yeah.
Did he really?
Oh yeah. He's no. He so he's younger than I thought. He's 31. I thought he was older than that.
But here, I thought he was older than that
Is he
too.
40?
So hold on.
10 years off.
Wait a second. Ready? I go by Madden games. He was like a rookie in Madden 09. So hold on. Here's the thing. And we have to ask this, the closing point for this topic, right?
Yeah.
Is J.C. Jackson better than any of the guys you just listed? Probably not.
I would argue he's better at this point than I'd probably rather have him than
Darius Slay. Okay, yeah, right, exactly.
And
Would
then-
you
but
rather have him than Tre'Davious White? No, definitely not.
I think he's getting close. Keep in mind, after Darius Slay, it goes Byron Jones, Xavier Howard,
right.
James Bradbury, Trey Waynes, right? And I'd rather have him than all those guys.
He's not better than Xavier Howard and what the other guy, though?
I think he's better
Byron
than,
Jones?
I think he's better than Xavier Howard and Byron
Really?
Jones. I do.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think JC, would you call him an elite?
Not yet. I'd call him a B-plus cornerback right now, which is fine.
So is that worth franchise tagging and keeping him aboard?
Yes, 100%, because you don't know where he's going to get to
Exactly.
in the A territory, right?
Right.
So the next point we're going to, Jay Fine, is...
We got the Celtics playoffs coming up.
Okay.
The boys are buzzing.
So here's the thing. One, Jay Fine, we're going to need you more for this because you're like the basketball guy here. I think Derek White was a good pickup.
He was a great pickup. I just don't think he's enough.
I was
Yeah,
gonna get
right.
into that, so
Yeah.
How did you feel about trading 3 guys for Daniel Tice back?
Stupid.
Right?
I haven't seen a single thing from this team in the last year or two as far as management wise that makes sense to me.
Yeah, they can't pull off this get me over the hump trade. But James Harden gets traded 5 times a year. I don't understand it.
I'll hop in on here
go
on
ahead,
this,
you
but I would say it's kind of funny because it feels like them and the Bruins are in similar situations where they're both kind of getting hot right now.
100%.
But in the last recent years, they haven't made that trade that got them over the hump to put them up with those elite teams.
Correct.
of the league, and I think that's going to be their downfall. How long can Brown and Tatum carry you?
I don't know.
Who's their next guy? Dennis Schroeder?
It's
Smart?
Robert Williams.
You know what I mean?
Would be the
he is
guy, I
playing
guess.
Good. He is playing good.
I'd say Robert Williams would be the guy, and I'd like it to be. Excuse me. I like the fact that it's a big man,
Right.
emerging as the
Right.
third guy in the 3-headed monster, right?
Did the deadline pass already?
Oh yeah,
So it's way past already.
way past like literally
Yeah,
2 or
see,
3
I'm
weeks ago.
I'm on
Hey
to
here,
watch right now. Hey here, the boy doesn't follow.
Boy doesn't follow,
the Celtics
yeah.
as much as the
Not
Bruins.
as much
the
as the
Bruins
Bees
and the
here.
Pats.
Yep.
But yeah, so if say the deadline didn't pass,
Yep.
what move would you make to excel over that hump?
I think they would have needed, since Robert Williams was already. I would have traded. Jay Fine, would you have traded Brown or Tatum? Because you would have needed to trade one of them, or Marcus Smart. I wouldn't trade Marcus Smart. I like him a lot.
I'm honestly in the boat that you don't trade either of them. Yeah,
Really?
I think you are so lucky to have the two of them together coming up in the league at the same time. You kind of blew their rookie deals, but I mean, if you can, keep him in Boston for a while, I think that's a great two people to build around.
And how much then at that point? Like, how many more pieces do you even have to move to get somebody?
Well,
I don't think they have much ammo. That's the problem.
I think they need
kinda
to. I think they need to keep playing Robert Williams.
Yep.
I think they need to find a point guard who's not a go-to guy, but a guy who can facilitate, play defense, and get the ball to Jaylen Brown and Tatum. And then they just need some more.
Schroeder
depth.
wasn't that guy.
Schroeder's like a great six man.
Yeah,
I don't
I
want
agree.
Dennis Schroeder being my starting point
That's
guard.
what I'm saying. I think Smart and Schroeder both play their roles.
Has anybody ever made a worse free agency decision than him not going back to LA for 4 years and $80 million?
Yeah, he cost himself big.
Oh my God, that is sickening, man. I mean, that's really gross.
disgusting.
They would have. He went. What did he go to the Celtics for 1 year and what, like $7 million or something like that? Some joke show of a contract. Yeah. But so I guess what I'm hearing is that the Celtics might draw Cleveland in the first round, and that's a good matchup for them.
How much longer until playoffs?
I want to say a month.
a month and a half, maybe.
Right.
Because they got to get through March.
Right.
And then a little through April. Right?
The NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs start at the same time, right?
About a month and a half. I would
Yeah.
say.
So
So
I
there's
would.
still some time for some shit
There
to
is.
juggle up.
There is. I would say. I don't know. Like I said, if they come up against Cleveland, I like their chances. Even though I like Cleveland, I like Darius Garland a lot. I like Colin Sexton a lot. I like what Cleveland's got going over there.
It's kind of funny how they kind of got back up there.
They did, and
after,
they
you
just
know.
drafted it, dude.
Yeah,
and it's like it's
that's
crazy.
awesome.
Good
Honestly,
for them.
I honestly root for them.
I do.
Honestly,
I
that's
fuck.
fucking good.
Yeah. Good
them.
for Cleveland. I
love
like
the
that
dark
shit.
Horses.
Absolutely, 1000%, man.
LeBron.
What do we got? Yeah,
Just go fuck LeBron.
Fuck LeBron.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, 1000%. I can't wait for that quote. That's going to be hysterical. All right, Jay, fine. We're on to next.
Yeah, we're just going to keep the Boston sports moving here. We're on to the Red Sox. We got the 2022 seasons coming up. April right around the corner. So what do you guys think the state of the team is? Any predictions?
So they're basically, the Sox have become a sabermetrics team at this point, right? We all know they're a stat nerd team. That's what they're going to be. And I hate that it kind of worked last year. They had an exciting team last year of just random kind of like guys that aren't really household names. So Chaim Bloom clearly has something going here. I think they are still a couple pieces away, but
It's so funny that like all the Boston teams
They're a
seem to
couple
be
pieces away.
A couple,
It's
one
exactly
to two,
one to
they're
two people
always
away.
they're always in the conversation, but they just.
I'll tell you right now,
Away.
I loved the Kyle Schwarber trade.
Well, here's the thing. I think so. They end up. What happened with Kyle Schwarber?
I think he re-signed,
Update
right?
me.
I'm actually not sure. Did he resign with the Sox? I can look it up.
Yeah, we could take a quick check at that. I haven't been paying attention to it, honestly.
But to kind of chime in a little more, yeah, we'll see. Schwarber
I think they need another maybe starting pitcher. I think Houck is going to be really good.
Yeah, I think
that kid's got the best slider
that
I've ever seen.
rotation will end up going cold at some point. I feel like
Yeah, it's
they got to have one more piece in there.
yeah, and I just think they need a little more a little more offensive spark.
I'm not seeing anything on him resigning.
Really?
Maybe that's just
Is he still a
talks.
free agent? Maybe.
Maybe it's
Looks like he
rumors.
still might be.
Oh,
a
well,
free
you know
agent.
why? Nobody's re-signing right now because of the lockout.
Right. I think also they should look in. They can add an addition in the outfield.
100%. Juan Soto is a free agent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nick
Juan-
Castellano.
Nick Castellanos.
There you go.
Hey, here.
Castellano. Hey here. Now we're
Kids
good at
pronouncing
Spanish.
names.
Hey here. Failed Spanish 101.
He
But I think they got to replace Hunter Renfroe. You know, they gotta get someone else.
Renfroe was annoying. He's one of the dumbest defensive baseball players I've ever seen in my life, but he had moments of greatness at the plate.
For sure.
But I also think he's like a fourth outfielder. I don't think he should be your like starting left fielder. Yeah. Franchi Cordero was a joke of a signing. He ended up the year in AAA. You know what I'm saying? I like Dalbec. I love Kike Hernandez. Love Kike Hernandez. Probably my favorite player on that team.
Rafi Devers.
Devers
Led the
is
team in home runs.
he's better than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
He really turned the corner, and he's like officially on the cusp of becoming a star in the league, which is huge. Still swings at terrible pitches, but whatever.
I think the Yankees, Rays, and Sox are all going to make the playoffs again.
I think
To
so
be honest
too.
with you. I think they have a stacked fucking division.
I think the Yankees are in much worse shape than the Red Sox or the Rays, to be honest with you.
That makes me so happy.
Oh my God.
I think the Sox, honestly, they're still one or two pieces away, but they're battle tested. I still think they're going to be able to make a deep run this year, maybe pull a wild card spot, make that deep run similar. But again, there's still moves to be made, and let's hope they.
Is it not insane how the Rays figure this out every year?
Yeah.
They pay no one. I mean, like no one. They pay like Tyler Glass now, and that's it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Oh no, it's and like it's like him and Kevin Kiermaier, and that's it. All these other guys are all random dudes that nobody's heard of that come up through the farm system. That guy Friedman, their GM, he's got to be the best GM in the. How's he not win GM of the year every year? They play in some shit bum Home Depot warehouse down in Tampa Bay. That field is horrific. Have you ever been to Tropicana Field? I heard it's an absolute dump site.
Talk about budgeting, buddy.
Oh my God, it's gross. Yeah.
But I was going to say one more thought on the Sox before we move on. JD Martinez, last year of his contract.
I know. What's up with Big Uncle JD?
Do you think he's going to sign off after this year?
Give him a nice little 1 year. I would.
I think he's, 34, 35?
He's way older than people thought he was. Yeah,
So I think the Pats. I think the Sox are gonna look to. I think they're expecting him to leave after this year. I mean,
He'll be 35 in the summer.
Yeah, so he's old. He's getting old.
But you could still for a
production out of
power hitter like him, you're still all right at 35. He's probably got a year or two left of like consistent production. I would.
I have
think.
a feeling. I mean, because he's gonna want to get paid though too. So
And he's going to get overpaid by somebody.
Right. So I feel like hopefully the Sox don't overpay him, and they, put pieces in place to replace
him. Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, that's down the line. Hopefully, he has a big productive season this year.
Yep.
And we squeeze the last bit out of him.
Yeah. So there we go. I'd give him a 1 year and see what he wants to do. That closes. That's going to wrap up the hometown segment, right? Yeah. So there we go. Now we're moving on to national sports news.
Yeah. Like you said, we got the four major covered, but let's keep it with the MLB. Speaking of the Sox, we got the lockout currently right now. We're hearing some mumblings coming out of the media. What do you guys think?
So the players are trying to get way too much power here. That's the thing. That's the first thing. They're trying to get to the NBA level of like player control in the league, which I think is bad for any sport personally.
You don't want them becoming divas.
That's what's gonna. It's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen when you give the players too much control in these leagues. I'm sorry. It's just like I know the owners are kind of spitting in their face right now, and these lockout discussions never go well. I get it, but the players are looking for too much power right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. And I feel like a lot of people would disagree with you on that. Like I see. For example, you see Barstool Sports making those clown shirts with the commissioner's face on.
Oh, he's an idiot.
I feel like the commissioner always gets fucking shit on.
No, but Manfred's like Goodell level of stupid. Like he's an absolute clown. He just has no pulse for the game at all. The stuff he does between me and you, I think the MLB needs to go to robotic umpires. I don't know how anybody else feels. At this point,
robotic umpires work.
It's just it's like a robot. It's like a computer generated strike zone.
Set up some fucking Wall-E looking computer back there with like a protection.
No, it's not even that. It literally just you have the catcher back there. There's no ump, and it's like on a screen, like ESPN shows you.
Okay.
And like it just registers it where it hits in the zone from like a camera that's behind the fence in center field.
With technology nowadays, you'd think they'd fucking.
You can absolutely do it. Oh yeah, you could. The minor leagues did it, dude. You never miss a call. It's the best thing ever. How many times do we watch Joe West fat ass just retired? Finally, he waddled off into the sunset. Thank God. Then you got Angel Hernandez. How many times you hear about him a year blowing some call in a baseball game?
Yeah.
Or just trying to.
The thing is there's always going to be like those old school fucking fans who are like, this is bad for the game.
Yeah,
blah,
no,
blah,
it's
blah.
not bad for the game. No, it's not. No, it actually isn't.
But
They're
it's
bad for the game.
it actually makes the game a lot more accurate.
Makes the game a lot more accurate.
You fucking fossil.
What is the bad part, you antique? What is the bad part about getting the call right? I don't know where this is a bad thing, man. You get the call right. No one gets fucked.
Yeah.
And then what?
I think that's a good take. And they should, if somehow the commissioner watches this podcast, you should really
Manfred, figure it the fuck out. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know why this isn't a thing. You have plenty of money. And the other problem the MLB has, though, I have to say this really quick as we kind of segue out of this point, I guess.
Yeah.
Every team needs to try and compete unless you have a reason to rebuild. What are the Pittsburgh Pirates and Colorado Rockies doing? What are the Marlins doing? What are the Seattle Mariners doing? What are the Diamondbacks doing? What are the Texas Rangers doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are the Royals doing now after they just won their? You know what I'm saying? What are these teams all do? What is Baltimore doing?
They're just fucking out there, just existing.
All these teams in big baseball markets too, man. The Texas Rangers, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, I think.
Like, what are we doing here? You're not even trying to win.
Before we get off this MLB topic, what do you think they have to do to because baseball is a dying sport. What do they have to do to get more exposure to baseball and get more kids wanting to play and watch?
Do you know what? First off, I don't think baseball will ever truly die.
I don't think so
really
either.
don't.
But
Yeah,
in
really
terms
don't.
of the four major sports, I would argue that them and hockey, I feel like, are definitely the two. I mean, football and NBA, football and basketball are always going to
be one and two.
juggernauts. You know what I mean? But I would argue that
You know what brings people to the I hate to say this and it sounds like very caveman-y and simpletonish. Anger, aggression, violence, hatred.
a little
Right.
controversy.
Yeah, 100%. It brings people in, man. It really does. Like those people, like rivalries are good for sports.
Mm-hmm.
The Sox and Yankees rivalry isn't the same.
Bruins Canadians rivalry isn't
the same either.
Different sport.
Different sport. No, absolutely. 100%, dude. Like it's not. The Pats and the Colts isn't the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. There needs to be some kind of like aggressive storyline here to follow in the MLB. Like you can't just be throwing guys out of games for throwing inside on guys. And then another thing, dude. Everybody's like, "Oh, the bat flip." I hate the bat flip more than anything. I really do. I do.
Really?
I 100% do. You know why? If you're gonna bat flip, do it like David Ortiz used to, and make it look natural. Ortiz used to rip a ball and then just do a little subtle thing, and you didn't even realize he did it.
I'm gonna start fucking.
That's how you do it.
People are gonna start fucking swinging and throwing them into the fucking.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like frisbee in the bat up, but you know what though? At the same time, I'm a hypocrite because if the next guy that guy comes up, he should get 98 in the ribs. And if that gets people going,
buddy, that might get some eyeballs.
Some eyeballs back in the game, man. You never know. You know what I'm saying? So fine, then if that's the case.
I think that's a good way to end off the lockout. I mean, well, one more thing before we get off the lockout.
Sure.
How close are they to coming to a decision?
Apparently, they're still kind of far away.
I read they were far away too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Apparently, they're still kind of far away. So that's neato. Jay, fine. What are we on next here?
So in the 2019 NBA draft, the New Orleans Pelicans had first overall pick. They selected Zion Williamson. And at number 2, the Memphis Grizzlies came in and selected Ja Morant. So now a few years later, what do we think of those two picks?
It is laughable. It's legitimately laughable how much better of a pick Ja Morant ended up being than Zion.
Yes.
Even Zion when he was playing, Ja Morant was still better. Like it's like, and what do you want to talk about the identity that Ja Morant's given to the Grizzlies? How he's elevated the game of everybody around him. How he's got eyes on that team.
The whole league.
The whole league.
I think right now, I think he is 100% a better pick right now. Do you think it's too early to tell? Because Zion has, they say, he has the injury issues, his fucking weight.
He has the injury issues because he's 350 pounds.
What
That's
if
why.
Zion came back, dropped fucking 20 pounds, and became the beast that he was?
If he dropped 20 pounds, he'd still be 280 pounds.
There's no way he's 300 pounds.
He had 1,000%. Dude, he's like 6'8". He's a big dude to begin with.
I wonder how heavy he is.
284.
So, yeah, 284.
But, dude, people thought, here's the thing. I always thought.
How big is LeBron? How much does
6'6".
LeBron weigh?
Oh, LeBron right now?
If he's 6'6".
LeBron's probably 250.
For Zion to be athletic, putting on a show. I mean, his second season, he averaged 27 points. He finished 8th in the league in scoring.
Zion could be a ripped 260 at his height and be a beast and be like Dennis Rodman beast.
That's the argument I have is like, if he finished 8th in the league in his second year, don't you think he still has upside potential?
He does have upside potential. Yeah, his career isn't over.
Is way too
I think Ja Morant has eliminated that distance only because, dude, listen, if I have two horses leave the race at the same time, and 2 legs into the race, one horse gets hurt and says, I got to get out of here. I'm out of shape. I'm not built for this whole race. And the other one just keeps chugging along and keeps getting faster. Guess what? Horse 2 is the pick right there.
100%. And I think you're right. And right now, anyone predicting this will say Ja Morant's potential is a lot higher than Zion's.
100%.
But with basketball, you never know what can happen. Knock on wood. Maybe Ja gets an injury. Maybe Zion comes back. But right now, I do agree. I think Ja is.
And here's the problem. Big men in the NBA are prone to injury so much more than guys like Ja Morant. Those like athletic slasher guard type guys. But dude, like the Memphis Grizzlies are like the 5th best team in the league right now. Doesn't he have them up there? Aren't they almost at like 50 wins?
He's got them playing.
They're at
real
like
well,
45.
for sure.
Aren't they like 45 and 27 or something like that?
They're
I just saw.
winning. They're winning. They're in the playoff run. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, it's just not. And granted, I get, but the problem with Zion is people talked about Zion Williamson. You remember hearing about him for like 5 years.
Yeah, when he was like a fucking sophomore
In high school, everyone's this kid's the next coming of Christ.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah.
And granted, Zion did play. He played really well. He played to what looked like to his potential when he was in the league. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, what are you? You're out the whole year because you can't stay in shape.
Right.
Come on, man. I mean, you don't want it that bad if that's the case, or you got something mentally going on that you got to fucking get figured out.
Right.
Because that's inexcusable. If you got hurt, it's a different story.
Right.
But if you got hurt when you're out of shape, that's also a different story.
Yeah. So I think to kind of close out this segment,
Hey, here.
we all agree.
Ja's the guy, obviously, but like I it's just insane how looking back how far the distance has separated between the two, right?
Right.
What's this LeBron quote from the other night? I got to look it up on my phone.
I'll pull it up.
LeBron dropped another gem
gem
of a completely socially out of touch quote that he's like he's got to be the most socially out of touch athlete in the history of time.
Dying laughing. All right, I got it right here. Per ESPN, I sent it to you.
Yep.
LeBron James said, quote, "There needs to be a soundproof wall or something. I would even consider having no fans in the arena. Anything that will help us players avoid these verbal altercations, I just can't take it." LeBron James on the altercation with fans during last night's game. So I'm guessing a fan might have called him a pussy or something, or a crybaby or something. And LeBron went to the media and said there should be a soundproof wall in arenas.
So that's the worst idea that I've ever heard.
That is the hottest.
That is a scorching hot take.
Please tell me this dude was like delusional or something for being tired from the game.
Yeah,
hallucinating that he did not fucking say.
Nah, Buddy needs
to put a soundproof fucking wall.
Buddy needs a Gatorade to rehydrate and a lap around the JV field at that point because that is embarrassing.
Buddy
Are you
needs a
shitting me?
Therapist. I think
Michael, that's the difference between LeBron and Michael Jordan. Jordan would have turned around and went, "What the fuck did you say?" and then went and dropped 65 points.
Right.
And set some record for the night or something like that.
They got to bring back the fucking the Celtics LeBron crybaby shirts.
Oh my God, please.
One,
I mean, like, what is he talking about, bro? Like, what are you actually talking about?
To top it off, the Lakers are atrocious this year.
They're horrible.
Yeah.
And it's his fault. He decimated this whole franchise. And the other thing is, like, listen, here's the other thing. You think about, I will say this in a slight defense here.
Yeah.
Fans do need to check their mouth at game.
Yeah,
You're talking to
100%.
grown adults and grown like people that are like out there like trying to do their job. If I think players should be able to fucking hit fans.
At this point, right?
I do. If some guy in the fucking front row of some game is trying to shit talk me, I should reserve the right to backhand dude across the face if I feel necessary.
Bring it back to the fucking 80s Pistons.
100%.
Fucking start fighting
Bring it back
fans
to
and shit.
that. But they don't realize, bro, that's when the NBA was at the height of its popularity.
100%.
So why would you not want to replicate that? I don't understand.
Yeah, obviously we don't want to promote, fighting fans, but like just
I get that.
some sort of like they need something to get eyeballs. And like we said before earlier, football and basketball always going to be a juggernaut. But there's so many fucking divas in this sport, and he's
So
saying
ridiculous.
shit like this because
I think this is the era of the least likable superstar in NBA history. Look at guys like James Harden. You ever met a James Harden fan in your life?
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving. Ben Simmons.
Fans of their skills and what they do on the court,
Sure.
but as people off the court, they turn into those divas, and yes, they're on the biggest stage in the world. They're in front of cameras all the time. They got the fans saying fucking everything to them. Who knows what the fuck they say to them? And they have a right. They have a right to have emotions.
To stick up for themselves. Absolutely, they do.
But to say some nonsense like there should be a soundproof fucking wall,
That's
like
ridiculous.
That just made me. I was like, we have to talk about that.
Yeah,
I
this
think
is insane.
come on, LeBron.
That is
what
the
fuck?
word. That's maybe the worst idea that I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
The thing is like, I think the way the NBA is right now, you're either going to go down in history as a player as a super teamer or not. Giannis Antetokounmpo, not a super teamer. Jimmy Butler, not a super teamer, right? Luka Doncic, not a super teamer.
Yet.
Kevin Durant, super teamer, right?
And you qualify super teamer as a guy who joined.
Yep.
Super teams
You're
to win
you're either a super teamer or you're not. And I think the guys who are likable in the league are not super teamers.
That's a good take.
Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond, not super teamers.
No, because they were all drafted. They can't.
Right. KD, super teamer. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just real quick, one of the things that I've noticed for a while, and I think this leads to like this whole softness that we're coming into right now, is the fact that, do you know of any rivalries between like top tier NBA players, like guys that genuinely don't like each other or like look forward to competing against each other? They're all buddies.
No, they all play tummy sticks before the game and take Instagram pictures. It's embarrassing.
Remember the video of Kyrie talking to KD at the All-Star game right before he left for the Nets?
Yes.
It's like they're all making these little friendships to build these super teams, which if that's the strategy you want to go, that's it. But it does add into the softness of the sport. Like there's no competition.
No, none. Absolutely. Back in the day, guys would have punched you in the face for doing that shit, dude. It's insane. Jay Fine, by the way, this phone just went on low battery mode. I don't know if you wanted to hit the.
Oh, you want me to hit it?
Just hit low power.
Hit low power.
Yeah, there you go.
Still banging, right?
Yeah, it's all right. We're at 47 minutes.
We're
We're
good.
We're making good for time
All right,
too
wanna
here.
Move on to the next one.
Yes, state of the NHL, I guess. Right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So,
Yeah,
I think the skill level in the league is the highest, obviously, that it's ever been. But this league is missing intensity, man. This league is missing physicality. It's missing intensity. It's missing that, like, I used to never
they're
miss.
missing that Sean Thornton, Milan Lucic 2011 Bruins, baby.
1,000%.
I will always stick, as of right now, that is my favorite team of all time.
All time.
But that is probably the last time you'll see a team like that.
Maybe everybody says that until it's playoff time. And then
Right.
the tough teams prevail.
Right.
That's why I'm telling you right now, Calgary's built for a run big time.
St. Louis Blues 2019.
2019. Knock on wood. I hated that it was at the
bullied
Bruins.
the fuck out of the Bruins.
Out of the Bruins. It's embarrassing. It really was
crazy because
embarrassing.
the Bruins were the ones bullying teams for so long.
100%. And how did it work? When you can create space for guys and your guys are afraid to come near your star players, come near anybody, really. Because at that point, you got to have teams coming into your barn or wherever and going, all right, we got to just straight up, like, we're going to have to just bully these guys. That's what's going to happen. We're going to have to get, physical here.
And that's speaking on the state of hockey, that's what hockey is. It's not just about, the Michigan goals and Dillon fucking
so annoying
Dillon
at this point.
defenseman and fucking putting it top cheese. Like,
Yeah.
it's about grinding, hitting,
100%.
physicality, and even fighting plays a part. Back in the
Huge
day
part.
when Gretzky was playing, he always had an enforcer with him, because if he didn't have that enforcer with him, he would get fucking bullied.
100%.
They always had someone, like, I don't know who it was. I'm fucking blanking here who Gretzky's guy was, but he always had someone that
Dave Semenko.
If you're on the other team, you're thinking, oh, I can't go take this guy's head off because I have to fucking deal with this
I had to
guy.
deal with Semenko.
For
Right,
the longest
exactly.
time we had, the Thorntons, Lucic, all
Yep.
these fucking guys that they were like, okay, we're not
All
gonna go
dude, the
fuck with
2011
Bergeron.
Bruins, 65% of that
were
team
all
could drop the
beasts.
gloves. They were Nathan Horton was tough, McQuaid, Ferentz, Lucic,
I fucking miss Kevin Miller.
Kevin Miller. Oh my
Kevin
god, dude,
Miller.
he was. By the way, I will say this right now, he was the toughest guy
I
in
was
the
going
league.
to say he was definitely top 3, 100%.
Top 3 toughest guy in the
Only
league.
one I wouldn't put him past completely. Well, what do you mean by toughest? Like win a fight? Or
I've never.
toughest in
No
general?
one ever beat Kevin Miller.
Ryan Reeves a beast though.
Revo just lost to McDermott this year.
Did he?
Yeah, it wasn't like he didn't get killed, but like he
But
definitely.
that's the thing. Like that was like Lucic for a while too. Like Lucic
Lucic lost a couple early in his career, like where he one he kind of got knocked down. He was like 20. It was like his rookie year. He fought John
feel like he
Erskine, this
became
guy
a
from the
fucking
Capitals.
beast, though.
Yeah, and then he kind of like in Colton Orr, he lost the fight to Colton Orr again. He was like 20. Colton Orr was like 35.
he was like 20, like beating up these 30-year-olds.
Yeah, but at the same time, dude, when Lucic was young, he was still punching in veteran guys' heads, and he just took some of his losses on the way and some of the wins. And dude, are you kidding me? I would take Milan Lucic back on this Bruins team right now in 2 seconds. But listen, he's in a great position with Calgary, man.
I'm rooting for Calgary.
I am rooting for Calgary, dude. They're a wagon.
I love Matt Tkachuk. He's a little prick, but
I
like
hate him and I love him. I would take him. I would take him on the Bruins. I can tell you that right now.
I would love him on the fucking Bruins. I do like Johnny Gaudreau. I like
you know
Lucic.
I'm not a Gaudreau fan.
Really?
At all.
I have a Gaudreau Flames jersey.
Did you ever watch him in the playoffs?
What is he? Is he just like a pussy?
Disappears.
Yeah, does
Won't go in the corner. Nothing.
That's why he needs guys like Lucic and Tkachuk and these other tough guys to step up.
Eric Goodbranson.
Yep.
Might be the toughest guy in the league. He just punched some kid's head in the other night that tried to fight him. Too good he be.
Do
Tough
you
dude.
think 20 years from now, the state of hockey, it's going to evolve into something else?
No.
I think it's just going to stay.
Because if you want anybody to watch this sport, you need it to be physical and violent. There's a couple of kids that came up this year that can really throw punches. The kid Jeff VL and but I got to say, San Jose has a couple of young, tough kids that can fight. Really? They're pretty good. VL, the kid that just fought Chara, Jonah Gadjevich, this other guy, Jake Middleton. Mm-hmm. They got like 3 young kids that can fight. The Bruins have no one.
The Bruins have
absolutely no one. Nick Ritchie's an absolute bum.
They got like Trent Freddy, who's like 23 years old.
I'm saying they brought in Ritchie like for the last 2 years, trying to get him to do some absolute plug.
Pylon.
They just traded him to the Leafs. Just traded him to
the Leafs.
He went to the Leafs.
This guy's a fucking suitcase. He's
he
all
went,
over the place.
He went to the Leafs this offseason. They just traded him to Arizona for Leah Bushkin and the other kid that they got or whatever in that small deal or what have you. But the Bruins need the Bruins need to get way tougher.
Right.
They need like 3 or 4 guys that can bang. You know what I mean? And it's but yeah, state of the NHL is fun for right now. It's okay.
I think it's also like it's crazy to see the generation of like Ovi, Crosby, Malkin, Bergeron
so weird
passing the torch.
Yeah,
now.
It is.
It's so sad. It's
very.
I grew up watching those guys, and now you see them sort of passing that to Joe Pavelski. Like
it's always weird when you see like I remember like when I first started watching sports as a really young kid. I'm talking like 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. And you watch like you by the time you're cognizant and aware that this is going on, you're like, oh, Dan Marino's at the end of his career. Steve Young is at the end of his career. Brett Favre, John Elway, like those, or like the other. I'm talking other guys like Joe Nieuwendyk, Mike Modano, Andrechuk.
It's crazy to see them like in their peak, going up. Actually, not even in their peak, going up, and then now on the down. I'm at that age now. I'm 22. You're 30. So we're in 2 different generations.
Yeah, right.
Like Ovi was my I watched Ovi go up, and I didn't really seriously start watching hockey until I was probably like 9, 10 years old.
Who was the first career you saw start and end?
Fuck.
Because I can tell you who mine was. It just ended, by the way, and it was weird.
Who was it?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Really? I never thought about that. I never put my thought into that. I guess but I would say Bergeron because I've always loved Bergeron. But Bergeron was in 05. Like he was there in 05.
Right.
So I wasn't even watching hockey yet.
Right.
So who was the guy that came into the Bruins in say 09, 10? Like a Marchand.
Yeah, you've watched Marchand's whole career.
A Marchand, which is crazy.
You've watched his whole career.
That's when I really started loving the Bruins. Is like 2010, 2011.
Oh yeah, dude.
Started getting close.
That 2011 Cup run, I'll tell you something right now. There was nothing like it.
Marchand wasn't on the team. I think he was in the farm system. But 2009 or 10, I think, when they choked to the fucking Phillies.
Yeah, that was awful.
That was like the first year I seriously started watching.
Game 7 was my prom night.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome.
The worst. Got the text in prom, middle of prom. Bruins lost, blew the 3-game lead.
Yeah,
ugh, gross.
That's the state of the NHL for you.
There it is. And then we got this Cain Velasquez story. This story is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, this is wild. Jay, fine. Pull it up. Pull up the Barstool article and just give us some reference points really quick on it.
So basically, from what I'm seeing, I'll click on a specific article here, but saying that Cain Velasquez originally was charged with attempted murder.
Right, yeah.
They're now talking about that it may be justified because the man he murdered may have tried to molest his young child.
daughter.
And
yes.
Right.
For those of you who don't know Cain Velasquez, he was a fucking beast in the UFC for a long time.
Just got hurt.
Mixed martial arts. He was a heavyweight. He was a fucking top of maybe light heavyweight, 205 or 220, that weight class. He was a fucking beast, and he was always known as a great guy. Like, guys always had great things to say about him. So to see him getting potentially charged for a murder, it's rising a lot of eyebrows because like this. Everyone thought this guy was.
Yeah, I always thought Cain Velasquez was first of all, he was always a bad motherfucker, bro.
He was a fucking beast.
I mean, you want to talk about wrestling? He might be the best wrestler that besides Khabib. I mean, he was a beast. First Mexican, absolutely first Mexican-born UFC heavyweight champion. By the way, shout out. And when I saw this, I'm like, oh, I mean, there's that mode of pessimistic where you're like, oh, all right, like. It feels like we see it more and more often, these ex-athletes getting into shit after their careers are over and everything like that.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, anybody really, dude. It's everyone. It's literally, it could be anybody at this point, right? Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And then I see this update and I'm like, oh my God, this is...
It makes more and more sense.
More sense now. Is there any further information on it? The guy he shot at is out on bail. For child abuse. Basically,
he opened fired on a vehicle that was carrying a man who was recently charged with molesting a close relative of the former champion. And it still says the motive and circumstances surrounding the incident are still under investigation.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
I can't blame him.
yeah, I mean, murder is. I mean, I'd have to put myself in that position. I'm sure I'd feel the same fucking way. I'd want to kill someone that molested one of my family members.
I don't blame him at all.
Yeah, let's fucking get a petition for the guy here.
100% sign it. I'll sign it right now. They're not going to end up charging him unless
He's getting
they
a lot of support publicly.
100%.
Was the person murdered?
No, it's attempted. I think he just shot the guy. To be honest with you,
So that's a completely different.
Yeah. He was hit by
100%.
bullets, but it says he's expected to survive his injuries.
yeah, but it's insane because the guy is out on bail for a previous child abuse case.
Yeah, so it's like.
So it's not like this is some like random hearsay thing. This guy has a rap for this type of psycho shit. You know what I mean? Right. This guy's obviously a sicko, and whether he did or didn't do, I mean, the thing is going to be if they can prove that he actually did attack one of his relatives. Because if he didn't and it was just speculation, now Cain Velasquez is in a tough position there. You know what I'm saying?
I stand with Cain.
I stand with Cain. Hashtag I stand with Cain.
If the guy did do that to his relative, I stand with him.
100%. I wish he killed the guy. To be honest, I wish he hit him.
Hot take.
Call it a hot take. That's fine.
Whatever you want.
I can't tell you what I would do.
That literally, you have to put yourself in the
100%.
shoes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, 100%.
Obviously, he's feeling a world of emotions with that, and I'm sure.
How are you even in control of your emotions? I mean, what do you even do right there?
I think if that is true, then they'll obviously
100%.
Take away the charges. But
so that wraps up both sports segments here, and now we're going into the pop culture side of this whole thing.
A little different.
Different. That's how we're going to end the show here today. And what's the first thing we got up here? We're going to
kind of a broad topic. We got social media. So, you two know a lot about that.
Yeah.
I want to dive in.
Yeah. So the past 2 years have been, I can speak on my own personal perspective really quick, is that like I've been making content since I think 2013. Mm-hmm. So I'm in like year 9 now.
For reference, in 2013, I was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
I was in 7th grade.
I was 21.
I was 13. He was
21. Yeah, because we're about 8 years apart, so that makes sense.
Yep.
So, and I had always just posted on Facebook and like my own personal Instagram, and never had anything like big happen or hit for me. It would just be people that I knew that saw my videos and were like, "Oh, that was funny," and that was it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until I finally made a TikTok, some girl put me onto it because I'm like, I'm not trying to be on some like teenagers dancing app. This shit is stupid. And then I realized you could
actually do
different shit on this thing, and everyone was on it. So it was crazy. What was the first video that ever popped for you? Do you remember? Because I know mine.
For me, yeah. The first video, so to kind of segue into my social media journey, just like you, not really like you. I never did social media. Like I was one of those guys that is like the average person on social media. You post once every few weeks with your boys. Like you get, a few hundred likes, this is cool, whatever. TikTok kind of fell into my lap because at the height of the pandemic, which was probably like March 2020, I downloaded it as well as everyone else did. That's kind of when TikTok started taking off.
Yep.
And I was just scrolling, watching videos. You see the dances, you see little kids on there. But it started during that time frame. I feel like a lot of kids my age as well as older people got on the app. And one day I remember I was driving home and I was like, oh, I kind of have a funny thought because, being from Boston, the running joke in the city is people that claim to be from Boston who actually are from the suburbs or aren't from Boston. And it's not a big deal. It's just a funny, it's just a relatable thing. So what I did was I made a video just speaking into the camera talking about that. And it's so cringy when I go back and watch it because I'm like, I felt so weird in front of the camera.
That's hilarious.
But it like blew up. It got like 100,000 views. And like me as a guy who, like I said, posted once every few weeks on social media.
Right.
I was like, holy shit, like this is kind of dope. Like I'm getting views, I'm getting likes. Like let me keep doing this relatable shit. Mm-hmm. So that was the first video that popped off for me. How about you?
Mine was like this millennials going to hell in 2020, and it was this like
I think I remember that one.
Yeah, it was like I was playing like the person going to hell and the devil, and like how like devil is all PC, like hell is all PC now, and you can't call it hell, and we're just playing off that whole thing.
When was that? What was
that?
It
was March of 2019, I believe, or 2020. I'm sorry, 2020.
Really?
I remember I posted that video and like nothing happened.
Yep.
And then like 2 weeks later, my shit started blowing up.
The algo started picking up.
Well, what happened is it got that second push.
Right, that's what
and
happens.
they put it to the right people.
That's what happens.
And
You found like that
Yeah.
people, yeah.
and it was crazy. And then like I'm like, holy shit, the video's at like it's still one of my highest viewed videos
How many
ever.
views did it end up
I want to
with?
say it's at like 600,000 right now.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's crazy.
See, I didn't post my first video didn't pop off until I want to say September 2020. So
Really?
you were probably like
How far away was that from when you posted it?
no, it was right when I posted it. It happened right away.
Oh, right away.
Because I think the thing with my content, which I still do today, is no one really tapped into like that Boston-based content like I did, and it started to pop off
Authentically.
yes, not like park the car in the Harvard Yard.
Yeah, please.
Shit.
Oh my god.
No, we're not gonna name drop
I
anyone. or
can't
deep
name
dive.
drop anybody here,
But
oh my
yeah,
God.
I think that's kind of why I kind of separated myself a little bit and got into that niche, and then I just became the Boston guy for a little bit. Then I started doing the hockey shit because I'm a hockey guy. I played hockey my whole life.
Right.
So I started doing, hockey banter, and then those eventually all turned into skits. And then I started doing the minute-long POVs and skits. Those popped off, and now I'm kind of on to the next thing.
It was so funny too because I was seeing this happening and I'm like, holy shit, like
It's crazy, and I grew really fast.
you
Really
blew
fucking
you blew up
fast.
skyrock. Me, it was much longer and like not even that I ever really like blew up, I would say, but like mine's been more of a slow burn, but been worth it. Mine's come in ebbs and flows, you know what I'm saying? TikTok just drives me insane because it's just like it's the way the algorithm
It's trash.
it's awful.
trash.
It really does pigeonhole people into these like niches that they can't creatively. Imagine if like every time we posted a video, no matter what it was,
Your followers saw it.
followers saw it.
At least 50%.
At
saw
least
it.
50% saw
Not
it.
even. I can't even say 25% of my followers see my shit. Maybe
No,
less.
definitely not, because you would average 250,000
Yes,
views a video,
exactly.
and be chilling.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's like kind of the main thing with TikTok and me is I think it's a great app to grow exposure. You can grow quick on it. You can get a lot of eyeballs, but it's not a great app longevity wise as of right now.
It's
to kind of get you to the next step of your career.
It is
per
the
se.
biggest double-edged sword I've ever encountered social media wise.
Yep.
It will blow you up and it will pigeonhole you into whatever it wants to do to you, and it's just like
It'll
it's
get you in your
brutal
own
to deal
head.
with. Yep. It'll psych you out. It'll get you in your own head. It's one of the hardest things to deal with, that like that when the algorithm stops pushing your shit and then when it just randomly decides to do it again. It's just
Sometimes I get questions like, what if someone came to you with a business, right? And they were like, what's the best way to grow on TikTok? What are you telling them?
you have to find a niche and stick to it. I would say post something educational. That's how I'm building the Hedge Better account.
Yeah.
Everything we do is educational shit.
I think
That's pretty much it.
I agree.
Teaching people something, giving them a reason to rewatch the video and shit.
I think you need your own angle too. Like it has to be something either educational,
Yep.
entertaining,
Yep.
like what I do, comedy
Yep.
type stuff, or just be like a good-looking guy or a girl.
That too, and just do nothing.
You
In which
know?
case, God bless you. Good-looking people have gotten rewarded for doing nothing their whole life.
And good for them.
Why do you care if it's on a social media app?
You know,
Look at
you-
every fucking print model. They sit there and smolder, and that's it, with
Look
no
at all-
shirt on, covered in baby oil, under a waterfall, and that's it.
And I'm not here saying, I'm the most fucking talented individual in the world. This shit just comes naturally to me. But like,
Hey, you're looking at the 4th or 3rd spot there.
Hey,
you know
here,
what I'm saying?
but, like,
Trying to get in the top 5.
what the fuck do these guys out in LA do in the hype house? These Bryce Halls, these
Oh, I don't know.
fucking
They have no
guys.
talent whatsoever. Like literally
And-
nothing. Literally nothing.
Luckily, they're surrounded by people that are bringing their careers to the next level with whether they dabble in, music or, they can dabble into anything at that point. They have these fucking crazy followers.
Bryce Hall might be the least appealing human being I've ever
yeah,
seen on a
and he
social
got his
media.
and he
app in my
got his
life.
ass kicked in a boxing match. So
Smoked, too.
Whatever. But anyway,
I can't wait to get into celeb boxing. By the way,
that's the
I know you're
celeb-
jacked up for that too.
Celeb boxing would be something cool to get into.
1,000%. Catch that nice little check.
I got to get these hands right first before I get my ass absolutely murdered.
Shout out to
but,
Sugar Shane Fitness one time.
Sugar Shane Fitness, shout
Yeah,
out.
there he is.
Salty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think social media is just something you have to be consistent on too.
It is.
You can't post once a week, once every few days, whenever you feel like it.
Well, I saw a hot take on the algorithm, and some guy was like, "It's more about like quality in terms of like
100%, yeah, I
knowing
agree.
that people are going to interact with your shit instead of posting a bunch of like mass shit just to do it."
I think TikTok values watch time too. So
100%.
Stay engaging.
And I would say that like the people that think that like the advice like you got to post 15 to 20 times a day. Like, no, you don't.
No.
First off, no one has the time to do that.
Right.
That has a life and real responsibilities. 2, you're really stretching people thin creatively at that point. Imagine if you put out 15 fucking videos a day.
Yeah.
What would we put 15 videos a day out about?
Well, that's just gonna, unless it's somehow 15 engaging things, which no one can do.
No one can do. So that advice is ass.
You're gonna bleed out your content.
100%.
And then, 2 weeks into it, you're gonna be like, okay, now what?
And I'm out of ideas, and now I suck, and I hate myself, and I don't even want to do this anymore. So stupid.
But I think a main thing I want to get across with social media before we move on is you can make a career out of this.
You absolutely
and
can.
And a lot of people, specifically in Massachusetts, at least, just because I live here and I know, it's a blue collar place. A lot of people don't understand it.
Yep.
And I want to get like the message across. Like right now, I'm making a steady income off social media. Obviously, I'm not to where I want to be, but I made enough money to drop out of college and take this on full time. And there's a lot of upside potential. And I think a lot of people don't know you can monetize yourself off this shit.
The weirdest
anything,
literally anything. And that's our challenge right now with this pod and everything like that. So we're kind of just getting into the whole monetization thing. Right. And the last thing with this is going to be how do you call it? Oh, I was just about to drop this point. Need a second here. Slipped right off the tip of my tongue.
Here, the kid went blank, and
the kid went completely blank. We might have to just move on and chalk it. I completely lost it right there.
Yeah. To wrap up the whole social media segment, I think it's just if you want to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
I think that was my biggest hurdle in the beginning is hearing people say talk shit. Yeah. We'll keep it how it is. Hearing people talk shit, people I grew up with, people I went to high school with, and you just have to do what you want to do.
That's it.
And don't block out the outside noise.
No one cares. These people are doing nothing with their life, and if it's like people doing nothing with their lives that want to like kick somebody else down to make themselves feel better about what they have or haven't accomplished, and it's like you're just a fucking loser.
Do what you're passionate about.
That's pretty much it. Oh, and the last point I was going to make is one of the hardest things about this social media thing is now it's coming back to me is explaining to people what you do.
Right.
Without sounding like a fucking loser.
Or what's your 3-year plan?
What's your 3 years? So where are you going to be in 5 years? Buddy, I have no fucking idea.
Buddy, I got no clue. I got nothing.
I might be dead in 3. I don't know. I haven't thought 5 years in a row. I have no idea. Like trying to explain to my dad.
I might be stationed in fucking Iraq for
I hadn't fucking, how do you call it? Seen like a buddy of mine's dad in like 7 years.
Right.
Try to catch him up on what I was doing. I swear to God, you would have thought I was telling him I was printing Sudoku puzzles in my basement and trying to like monetize it somehow. He had no clue what the fuck I was talking about.
It's like explaining like it's like trying to teach someone like Morse code that has like no education.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing ever. It's like, so I'm kind of like an influencer, and he's like, why the fuck would anybody come to you for any advice?
You're making videos.
You're making videos for
fucking
money.
Weirdo,
Yeah,
kid.
exactly.
Go punch in.
So bizarre.
Go join the union.
Yeah,
kid.
or you could get my dad and be like, yeah, you get benefits. Like, fucking no, I don't.
You get life insurance with that shit.
Yeah,
or what?
what's your pension at? No, fucking stop.
I think social media is. We can talk about this fucking
100%.
I don't want to get too into it, but
where are we going next with this? We get Euphoria up next.
Custom Euphoria. Everyone's talking about Euphoria. I gotta say, I haven't seen it, but everyone is talking about Euphoria.
Everybody. I've never seen I haven't seen a more talked about show since Game of Thrones. Really,
that's the one reason I wanted to bring it up is because me personally, I've only seen a couple episodes of it, and don't get me wrong, it's a good show. It has a good storyline ish. If you want to see a bunch of 17-year-olds, having sex and popping perks, like that's happens every fucking 10.
And everybody shows up to school half naked with no dress code.
Just like they're throwing rippers on like Wednesday nights. They have an exam in the morning type shit. Like it's
insane.
Fucking crazy. But I wanted to talk about it because Euphoria, it's such a wild show, but it's legit like the second most popular show in the world right now.
It is. And I think that these types of shows, I think right now Euphoria, is it as big as 13 Reasons Why? Was a couple years ago?
It's up at that.
Crypto
level.
Craig, give us a quick take on that real quick.
It's the second most viewed show since 2006's Game of Thrones.
2006 or 16's?
6, I
believe. Like original
Game of Thrones didn't start in 2006, guys.
It did. It's an old show.
Jay Fine. Hold on a minute here.
Fact check.
How long was Game of Thrones on for?
It was on for a while. It was on for a good amount of time.
Were you a big GOT guy, Craig?
I started Game of Thrones in season 7.
Oh, okay, all right. No, it was 2011.
Thank you. You guys are gonna be jacked up right there. 2000. So was it Entourage, Craig? Jesus Christ.
2014 then. That's what I was
okay, I got you.
I was playing with toys. In 2006
exactly.
In my mother's basement.
I was in a casino spending all my serving money. What? Right here. Rough patch, not a big deal.
But,
what was I going to say,
but
though?
in terms of Euphoria, like, I think I just wanted to bring it up because it's legit all over social media. It's all over TikTok. And number two, you know, your kid here is wifed up, got a beautiful girlfriend. But I think
Shout out to Rubino.
beauty.
Yeah.
I think Zendaya is very hyped up.
Overrated, you think?
Overrated as fuck.
I completely agree with you.
Do you agree?
Completely
What is the
agree.
hype? I think
I don't know.
I think she's a very pretty girl, but
I haven't
don't know
seen her.
what-
I haven't seen. I know she does her best acting on Euphoria. In Spider-Man, dud. Dune, dud.
But yeah,
I haven't seen Zendaya do anything crazy outside of Euphoria.
But am I the only one seeing all this shit on social media? Like people calling her like the most beautiful girl, the most perfect girl.
Yeah,
in the
no, that's
world?
just
Like,
that's social media
I don't
hype.
understand
No, that's Gen
what-
Z social media hype. That's all
right?
that is.
Okay,
That,
well,
that's all that is.
I just wanted to chime in on that.
No,
because
no,
I was-
yeah, it's like
She's a good
Do you
looking girl.
did you watch any of the Spider-Mans?
Original? I'm talking Tobey Maguire, buddy.
Toby's
That
my
was
king. That's
that was
why.
my
Yeah, Toby.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Toby was my king.
I never really got in the Tom Holland hype.
Don't get him either.
Isn't he like 5'5" too?
Literally 5'5".
Hey,
but
here, I'm
even
only
still,
5'9.5", but I'm like, listen, I don't know what the hype is. You got girls drooling.
I
over this
don't.
kid. I don't know what's going on.
The thing is with Tom is like his again.
Is it like his personality? Like,
I don't know what it is because him as Peter Parker, I'm like not impressed by at all.
Yeah.
He's very like nervous and quirky, and he's like, "Oh, Mr. and it's like, it's like, can you stop with that, please? The same thing in every movie, and like, he's not a bad Spider-Man, but I mean, no one's gonna ever replace our Lord and Savior Tobey Maguire.
right? He's
No one's gonna
beast.
replace King Toby
He's a fucking
ever,
beast.
never, right? So here's the other thing: is I think they're like a PR couple, 1000%.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where those two would have ever found each other like mutually attractive enough to like, and it's weird. They're like such like a stereotypical like social media Gen Z couple.
yo.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
They say all the politically right things, and it's everything's like, you know, I respect my
Everything's-
girlfri's and
everything's
everything.
peaches
It's
and-
like,
peaches and
shut
cream.
up with this shit, man.
Like, buddy, I know you have that locker room talk.
Oh
Like,
my
shut
God!
up,
Yeah, please
dog.
stop with the fake shit. Everything. It's like, you know, I
so
respect
fake.
my girlfriend, and she's made my. Shut the fuck up, man! It's so annoying, dude. Like,
Yeah,
I
he's-
don't. That's why, like, I respect like real ass people, like real ass regular people. It's why I love Ben Affleck.
He's a beauty.
He just is
unreal.
himself.
That's it.
He just is himself. Dave Chappelle just is himself. Rogan is himself. Who's the other girl that I was just thinking of? Who's just fucking. She just. It's like she's never. Like even like somebody like Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
She's not like, so she's just like privately married to some kid from Australia, and like she's just fucking cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's yeah, that whole thing is just so cringe.
Euphoria, I thought, Euphoria is just blowing the fuck up. It's a good show. I don't really understand the whole hype behind it all, but I'm gonna check it out a little.
I
more
might have
deep
to check
dive.
it out,
Maybe we'll
too.
get
I
a
might
little.
have to go into
maybe
deep
we'll get a
dives
little
here.
part 2 section on.
Yeah,
this,
we might
but
have to. A little sequel section.
We can move on to the
Everybody's
next thing.
banning everything Russian.
Yeah, so deep dive a little more on that.
So like Massachusetts liquor stores took all the Russian liquor off the shelves and stuff. A lot of them did, which is kind of weird because they already paid for it.
yeah, interesting.
Anybody think about that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you already paid for it.
Interesting
But whatever.
Hey, here, just throwing bucks around.
But you know what though? Anything that they can do to fuck with Russia and fuck with Putin, I'm fine with.
Yeah,
if it
fuck
fucks with Putin, like good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's fine. Because he's feeling it from everywhere right now.
oh yeah.
He's feeling it from absolutely everywhere. And
Does anyone agree with him?
I don't. Yeah, the guy
haven't heard-
who runs China. What's his name?
Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping.
Yeah.
Xi Jinping agrees with them.
Cool.
Sick.
Sick.
Good style.
Then, neat team. Yeah, cool.
But I think, he's just fucking shaking up the world right now.
He's trying to, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going well for them. I think he's Jay. Fine. Where do you? Because you're very geopolitically like conscious. I want to know what you think about this right now.
All right. I won't.
Jay Fine on
I
the
won't
spot
go
right
into
here.
a
He's
deep
rattled.
dive real quick, and I won't say too much. But I do think that he was put in kind of a weird position where Ukraine kind of pushed some buttons. Nobody really wants to hear that, but
Hey,
Ukraine.
we keep it. We keep
He
it
should.
authentic.
Yeah,
gotta
we keep it authentic.
So look,
here,
if
you
we keep it at 100 real quick, 30, 60 seconds here. Ukraine wanted to join NATO, which is basically a military alliance formed against
who's
like,
in NATO?
It's a
gonna
lot
sound
of
so-
it's the
it's gonna
United
sound so
States.
ignorant,
United
but-
States, a lot of like European nations. Basically, on the Russian border, you have Belarus and Ukraine, and Belarus and Ukraine are the border between Russia and all the nations aligned against Russia.
And doesn't Belarus literally like translate to like second Russia?
Belarus is a Russian puppet.
It's a
government.
Russian puppet country, yeah,
so basically,
exactly.
he was like, "Look, Ukraine, we got no problems as long as you guys stay neutral. But if you join a military alliance that's created to defeat us, no, you can't that's not going to happen.
And you made this great point. It's like if Mexico like formed like a military treaty with China, you'd be like, no,
We'd
not.
be like, bro, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
absolutely not. You border our country, like that's not happening. You're not siding with one of our enemies, like not happening.
Yeah. I'm not like educated enough on it to talk. I mean, obviously it looks really bad what he's doing, but I mean, you know, I'm sure there's two sides of every story and he has reasons for it at the same time, but I think he's, you know, just fucking obliterating Ukraine right now.
But the thing is like he's actually not. They're not getting
Dude,
as far as they
did you-
thought they were gonna.
Did you see that they said they had that fucking fighter jet, a Ukrainian
The
fighter jet?
Ghost of Kiev.
That was the most badass thing.
That
I've
guy
ever
is
seen
up
in
to
my
his
life.
eyeballs in vagina for the rest of his
Dude.
life. Imagine walking into a bar and be like, "I'm the Ghost of Kiev."
Taking out
I
fucking
want to get
Russians.
naked right now.
Taking out Russians fucking under the radar.
Please.
Like, holy fuck.
Oh my god! I gotta say, Zelensky's got balls.
Huge.
I mean, he's like walking around Kiev, Ukraine, being like, "Come fuck with us," like I'm out here. You know what I'm saying?
unbelievable.
I gotta give the guy a little bit of credit. I mean, the dude is fucking. You know, he's a man of the people. And I gotta say, all the Ukrainian celebrities, they all went back and like Vladimir the Klitschko's Miss Ukraine. She's back there with a rifle.
Oh, yeah.
It's like crazy. They're like, these people are so fucking. They're hardcore. You know what I mean?
I could have respect for it.
You have to respect it. You have no choice but to respect it. You know what I mean?
I feel like I'm watching a remake of something that happened 60 years ago. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't seem
1000%.
possible that this is happening in 2022.
Well, didn't he try and invade Georgia, the country Georgia, like 10 years ago? Remember that?
Yeah.
They like, I don't know if it's insane.
nobody
They
cared
drove,
'cause
they
it's a tiny
drove
little
tanks
place.
through it or whatever the fuck. Yeah, exactly. And the country's the size of the internet modem right there. So, speaking of this Ukraine thing, hold on. So we're going to end on this Tim Dillon fucking ad.
Yeah.
This thing is insane.
This is insane.
This
We
is
can
one of the
segue into that
crazy
one.
things. Jay Fine, can you put it up?
Yeah,
on
should
the-
I
on
just
the
play it?
here?
Should we just play it?
Well, just, yeah, no backstory.
Just we're not gonna just watch
We'll
this.
just play it.
We're just gonna raw dog it right now. I'm gonna keep it, you know, straight face.
Hey, you're gonna hit the play button.
There we go.
Not for better, some have gone and some remain. All these places have
Very somber, very dramatic.
moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I loved them all.
I just can't. It's so insane. It is so insane.
This
That's
guy-
gotta be the craziest thing I've
That
ever
is
seen,
one
man.
of the that's gonna be a top five craziest self
That
promos I've ever seen in my
that's
life.
that's the craziest one I've ever seen. That is.
What are you
I can't lie.
talking-
I think it's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. Not funny in terms of like what's happening in Ukraine is funny. The fact that somebody would do that is funny. Like that the balls that it takes to do that.
Put out that sad.
Because he just does. If you follow him at all, Tim Dillon, he's like a kind of conservative comedian, and like, but the thing that buys him a lot, not buys him a lot of, it gets him a lot of breathing room socially. Is he's gay.
Yeah.
So he's like it's kind of like this weird conundrum of a not weird conundrum. That's wrong, but I'm saying like this unconventional combination of like social constructs. You have like a kind of conservative guy who's also gay.
It's crazy, huh? Because you never think about that.
No, yeah, and it's like he's like this out of kind of left field archetype of a person, and dude, it's almost like he tries to get canceled
As a gay conservative.
as a gay
I've never met a
conservative
gay conservative in my life.
comedian. Oh, there's a lot of them out there, believe it or not.
Really?
Oh yeah, 100%. A lot of like there was like a whole gays for Trump movement and everything like that. Yeah, they were out there. Oh yeah, no, they were mobile.
Because they were mobile.
Oh yeah, they were out there making
they were
moves.
out
No,
there.
they were making moves.
They
They
were
were
up
doing
and
their
at
thing.
'em.
They were. They were.
That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying? But I think he's really positioned himself like one. The thing is, he's not just a shock comedian. He's actually hilarious. If you like go on YouTube and listen to his podcast clips, I mean, you would think he's hilarious because it's like a guy from East Boston just like ranting about shit.
That's
He's
awesome.
from New York.
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like I said, he's like, it's like he tries to get canceled, and I think you're going to see more people actually try to take this route. I don't think anybody's even afraid of getting canceled anymore. I really don't.
I think anyone there's no such thing as getting canceled. Think of it that way. Like they can never stop you from posting.
No, they can't.
Yeah, you might deal with fucking trolls for a while,
Right.
maybe months, maybe a year.
Hey, here you were briefly canceled here.
But hey, we're not gonna get into
Not
that
even.
one.
Yeah, right.
I was attempted to get.
There was an
canceled,
attempted
and it was,
cancellation happening, and it failed
false
miserably.
Accusation. We're not gonna talk about that.
100%.
Completely sad of that actually.
Yeah, right.
But you can't get canceled if you just fucking
No.
do your thing, keep pushing shit out. You're always gonna have fans, and half the people that are commenting saying shit are just doing it to do it.
To do just because they see other people doing it.
Right, exactly.
And pretending like they care about it.
Right.
And like they don't. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Exactly.
why it's a huge credit to you for like getting through that bullshit that was trying to be thrown at you. And I'm just glad that you made it through that and like ended up.
buddy, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. So
Yeah, exactly.
If I go through a little cancel phase, then we'll get through it. You know, we're
Pushed
pushing
right, you
through.
pushed right through
We're
it, and you were in the right the whole time. So it's
battling.
like I'm just glad that you didn't let
Yeah.
that get to you, and that you didn't let that get you, discourage you from being out there and shit. Like it's good. I'm glad that all worked out like it did. But like I said, Tim Dillon just like tries to get canceled, and it's hilarious because it's funny to watch somebody like not give that little of a fuck.
Cancel culture is something we'll have to deep dive into for the next pod or something.
I personally think it's on its way out.
talk about cancel culture.
I hope.
I personally think it's on its way out. I think people are getting sick of the shit because it keeps getting more radical.
Everyone just
And
just
more,
soft, dude.
yeah,
Soft.
and broader and more all this other shit, and it's just this soft stuff that people are sick of it. You know what I mean? And I really think it is dying down. But on that note, I think we had a great first show.
I think the first show went really smooth. I'm happy with it. I had a fucking
I am.
great time.
I had a fucking great time. Jay Fine did phenomenal in the producer spot right
Appreciate
there.
you guys.
Yeah, Jay Fine phenomenal in the third
I
seat
think
right there,
so
man.
What are we gonna try to do schedule wise with this?
I think
podcast?
I think Wednesday morning is going to be our film day.
Could be Wednesday morning.
Does that work for you?
Once a week.
Once a week,
Once
just
a week.
Wednesday mornings
Yeah,
would be
sure.
our film day, right? Our tape day, or whatever you want to call it.
Accounts are gonna be made when, dude?
I'll have the Instagram up by tonight, so we're gonna have to promo the fuck out of that on everything.
Yeah.
We'll do that. That's gonna be fine. Like I said, the more we put into this pod, eyes wise, the more money that this makes us and shit. You know what I'm saying? The more our audience. I mean, our audience is already gonna be. We're lucky to have a nice audience already.
Yeah.
So we have that to work with, and it's just going to be about us promoting. We're going to have to find a logo in the next week, which is fine.
Gonna find a logo.
Yeah, or not even a logo, just something.
Something to put on the fucking screen.
Yeah, just something to put on the screen or whatever have you. Right, exactly. That's
think-
how this is going to be.
I think it went really, really good.
It
I
does.
had a great
Not-
time, and I'm looking forward to the future. With it.
Dude, I'm psyched. I'm glad that you were so enthusiastic about this too. Like,
Dude,
I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie.
because I'm comfortable talking about like sports and shit.
I can't lie until I walked in here and saw you in here. I'm like, he's gonna have something come up and he's gonna cancel. I tell you right now, it's like, yep.
Yeah,
I was like,
you-
Buddy's
you would
busy.
think-
I get it.
You would think Buddy's the fucking president. Of
Oh
the
yeah,
fucking schedule
100%.
like that.
Yeah,
but
I thought we were gonna get a text at 1:30 in the morning last night.
yeah,
This
no,
morning I was
no.
gonna wake up to something. I'm like, oh, he's actually.
I
able to, like,
apologize. I
make it.
apologize to you too, Jay
Oh,
Fine,
shut
about
up.
last time. I fucking I was out till like 2 a.m. that night for some reason, and I was like, I cannot wake up at 9
Who
a.m.
did you go?
tomorrow.
Oh, I think it was the Young Gravy concert.
Young Gravy or
no,
two friends. Oh no, you were with me for two
No,
friends.
something else. You went out with Evan.
Right, I don't know, but your boy's sober now, 75 hard, so you're not gonna worry
Nice.
about that.
Now
No,
you're on 10 hard right
yeah,
now.
I'm,
right?
I'm on day 9, which
Wow.
is crazy. I've
You feeling
dropped
it now?
6 pounds in a week.
Yup.
Yeah, the diet is starting to get a little, annoying to me, but
yeah.
pushing
Gets
through. I'm
redundant.
starting to see results, and that's the main thing. I know you had we can jump into fitness a different time, but you had
Sure,
your own
sure.
weight loss journey. Like, once you start seeing results, it's easy to get in the groove. So
is, yeah.
I'm just excited for the future of this podcast, and we're gonna have fun with it.
Yeah, so you could stay tuned, guys. Episodes probably every Thursday, late Wednesday night, or later Wednesday in the day.
I think
Yeah,
I
either or.
think whatever. I mean, as long as it's once a week, dude. I
Yeah,
think
right,
that's getting
exactly.
too
So you could
crazy.
stay for. We're gonna be on what, Spotify?
Spotify, iTunes, and,
iTunes.
we'll throw you guys up on YouTube as well.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's gonna be dope. Exactly, and then stay tuned for our the content clips on like our TikToks and Instagrams.
So with all that said, guys, I'm looking at this camera. With all that said, guys, thank you for watching episode 1. It's Tommy Garino.
Shades World, man. Thank you for watching episode 1 of Mass Appeal.
Mass appeal, baby.
We will see you next week.
Thank you.